So today let's talk about love. I'm making this video in response to some Facebook requests about how to find true love. By no means I'm no love expert or any expert, but I'll be happy to share how I see things from where I stand. So first I would like to invite you to consider what is love, right? Because when we are searching for something, we better know what exactly we're searching for. If you expect to find true love in some illusionary ideal mate, it's just quite an impossible task. There's no such thing as true love partner. There is such thing as true love, and there is such thing as partner in crime, and I would say that it's not the same thing. It's not the same. I mean, we have expectations that there is some person that fulfills our needs, okay? But it's not true love. It's just that we have needs today, whatever they are, at this particular moment, and there is some person that I find that in some ideal, magical way will fulfill all my needs. As you know, that's quite impossible, and I think you know it. I think everybody knows it, and we are looking for that nevertheless, because we just don't know better. Or if we do know, we don't want to pursue the path to actually finding exactly what we are looking for, which is true love, first of all, okay? And second is actual person to share this true love with. People go about dating in every possible way, and it takes all interesting forms. So we assume that there will be just this amazing spark, we fall in love, and we'll love this person forever, ever and ever. And this feeling is based on energy that arises when we met, and very often people go about it in very shallow, allow me to say that, very shallow way. So for example, you meet with someone and you have intellectual stimulating conversation. Well, it's all wonderful. And maybe you found some compatibility, whatever it means. So it seems like the person validated your thoughts. I guess that's compatibility, right? They validated that you're right in everything you think. And here we go. Now we like this person because they mirror to us that we are super fantastic. Now it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with anything else. But is that how we find true love? Because we have good conversation over dinner or whatever way you have, and they validated your life, your values, your views and things. It's all thought-based. So there is no love can be found in words. Love is in between of those words. Love is beyond the thought. So to find true love, that's the only thing you can do. You cannot hunt for a partner and expect him to turn that true love. You have to go beyond thoughts. The question is how to do that. That's a question that I hear all the time in very different contexts usually than this conversation. But at the end of the day, the advice always comes there to resolve any conflict, any confusion, any doubts, any problems in life of any kind. The answer very often lies in just a very simple solution: go beyond your thoughts. And to do that, none of these dating tricks that you read about or heard about or experiment with, none of it will do. So let's talk about this place in which true love can be found first, okay? And then we will talk about, well, where is that partnership in which this true love can be shared? How can I find that? How can I build that? So, the very common, I read it somewhere in some context, I don't remember, but this idea that you have to stimulate falling in love situation when you date, so create something dangerous, let it be something very exciting, so energy flows and adrenaline flows, and it associated with this sense of I'm in love because it's also exciting, right? It's just cool stuff. Cool from the standpoint the game the mind plays. So yes, that will be exciting for some time, and then the thought arises again, because at first in this excitement we lose ourselves. And that's what true love really is. We lose ourselves. But by mistake we associate it, we attribute it to another person, that they stimulate this sense in us, they stimulate this spiritual moment of touching the divine, which can be possible too with some people because of their energetic state. In your energetic state in the moment, this touch of the divine is facilitated. But it doesn't have to be another person. And it doesn't have to be that particular person either. So if we are saying that true love is really just this sense of lost sense of self and this touch of the divine, and I'm using words, whatever the divine really means, but I hope you understand that I have to use words in order for us to communicate somehow. So let's say that this is exactly the sense of touching the eternity itself. The sense of beyond this material, tangible, heavy world in which we live. And this is what you're looking for, the same sense of love. In order to find that, you don't need another person, you don't need object. There is no object of love. Love is non-objective. Love is all there is. But you are on the way to experience it. Your thoughts, your beliefs, all the limitations of the mind are on the way for you to experience it. And as soon as you allow your thoughts subside, that's what you find. There is true love underneath of all of it. And it's to be experienced deeply and intensely, and it's to be shared with others. And now when it's found, and I understand that the whole search of it is another story, another subject that I would be happy to explore with you, but we do more of it during our training, and I share with you then my experiences and what facilitated for me, not who, it was not who, what facilitated for me this sense of touching the eternity, and seeing from that space that all that we think about life is completely irrelevant and not true. But it's another story. So now, when you feel, when you have experience of this non-tangible, unmanifested life within you, some say it's spiritual awakening, whatever. I don't want to go there because it just complicates a little bit the conversation, and you start to construct thoughts, and we don't want that. But try to understand the sense of what I'm talking about. Okay? So when you have this touch of it, this inner silence become known. In that silence only, if you ask me, and it's my humble opinion, I don't like the word opinion either, it's observation. Only in that silence, true love can be shared. I cannot say it can be found. It's not found there with another person, it's shared. In the silence, there is no thoughts, there is nothing that hides love from you, because the love is underneath of all of it. It's there, there's nothing to search, it's right there, everywhere. But the thought that is limiting is compartmentalized, can't find the word. It's divides everything, divides concepts, and you cannot feel it behind that noise that's constantly going on in your head. So only that silence to which you reach, you can share with another being, and in the silence you meet. Because in the chatter, in the intellectual conversations, in those dinners with billions of people around you, when you really pay attention to that, instead of to that space in which two of you can meet, then who meets is one perceiver with another perceiver. But perceiver, what I mean is, I'm thinking about myself a certain way, so I perceive myself. Now, in addition to that, I'm perceiving you sitting in front of me. Instead of being here fully with you, I'm perceiving what you are, what I'm thinking about you, and what does it mean for me. So all these perceptions, thoughts going on, and that's exactly that noise that prevents you from meeting people where they are as they are, and sharing that love that's already there, right there. I cannot say between you, because it's not between you, not behind you, not at left or right. It's there, it's love. The life itself is formed as love. And what happens? One ego is having conversation with another ego, and if you validate my ego, we will love you. If you don't validate my ego, you are not much, not good enough, you're that or another, and that's all it is. If you don't fit to my picture of the world, I'm not gonna love you, because right there my ego is challenged. Well, that's quite interesting actually, paradox from where I stand, because the person to partner with very often is the very person that will challenge your ego the most, because then she allows you to drop the ego, to lose yourself, and it might be by force. It might be not gentle. I can tell you from my experience, if you would be my partner, it would not be gentle. It would be by force, because ego would repel, ego would defend itself, ego wants to exist. The mind wants to exist. The mind wants things to be defined. The mind wants my own image to be defined. I know who I am. No, you don't know shit who you are. As soon as you say the word, I know who I am, you don't. You think about yourself certain thoughts, and you get used to them, and you say, I know myself. You know what you were thinking about yourself. That's what you know. You don't know things beyond that. As soon as you know beyond, you know that you don't know anything at all. Anything at all. Because there is nothing to know. Life becomes so simple, there is nothing to know, because there is no questions any longer. If you have questions about how to find a partner, how to do that and that, you just don't know yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. The beauty of not knowing and acknowledging that you don't know is that actually then there's a place in which all of it can be discovered, and it's a very exciting thing to discover. People come in relationship, they meet, and they hope that it will be a person with whom everything will be easy and smooth, and this love affair will be this one lifelong honeymoon. But because we meet from the wrong, but from foundation that is illusional, this honeymoon cannot survive. Because we meet as two egos, very rigid forms that think about themselves as those forms. We meet, we get excited, our mind gets stimulated, our sexual elements get stimulated, and we misinterpret it for love. The sense of this falling in love, what we call falling in love, it's the sense of this initial excitement. It's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's wonderful. Yet it's not the same as true love at all. It doesn't mean that more I'm stimulated by that person, more true love is there. It's more excitement is there, that's true. And there's the illusion that this person will satisfy your needs, whatever those needs are. Needs in new experiences, needs in validation of ego, needs in sexual excitement, needs in whatever the needs are. In the moment, they might satisfy your needs. Only your needs today will be very different from your needs tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And so it's the same person. So then people fall apart, and that's what they say, oh, we fell apart. No, you just never fell in. You were always apart. You for a second felt in, but just for a second, and it was not conscious. And then, obviously, the egos reconstructed themselves, and two different people discovered that they are here sharing this space together, and they are strangers. They don't know each other. And as egos, as separate beings, as separate imagined beings, we never get to know each other. Absolutely never. Ever. The only thing that can truly know is all that beyond our personality, beyond of perceptions, beyond of perceivers, beyond of thoughts, images, ideas, memories, projections of the futures, beyond all that. And all that can be discovered in complete silence. And it doesn't have to be silence as nobody speaks a word. That's hard to maintain a relationship like that when nobody speaks. Actually, it would be quite exciting. I would love to have that one day. Very tough to do it in the social structure in which we operate right now. But the silence can be discovered even while the conversation is happening, because you don't have to be fully immersed in it. You can be very attentive, and with that you are witnessing the relationships that are happening. You are witnessing, so you are present to that, but you are not identified with that. You are not it, you are present to it. And you are watching as well as you're playing this script out. And when you're witnessing, while here is the noise, people communicate and they interact and they love and they fight and whatever happening over here, the witness is silent. So the witnesses, you know how, I don't know if you had this experience, you probably had. You talk with someone, you speak with someone, you have this conversation and you look at them, and it feels like, yes, you engage in conversation, but you're looking beyond them completely. You're looking somewhere deeper and they're looking at you somewhere deep. It feels like some different dimension in which you communicate. So, I don't know how often that happened to you, but it doesn't have to happen this one single moment with some person and that's the connection. No, you can develop the sense of witness that will be present every day. It will be present every moment. It's very hard to maintain it most of the time. I would not promise that you can attain the state in which the witness will be present all the time, because we very often get overpowered by this illusion, overpowered by the mind, and we get identified again. But more often you're conscious to that, more often you can separate yourself from your thoughts and become pure witness. And then the witness is witnessing interactions between other humans, between you and other person. And with the silence of this witness of yours and silence of the witness of another person, the witnesses dance together beautifully. And they can dance together every day with the partner that you choose. Every day. Almost every moment you can do if you're conscious enough and really pay attention to what's going on with your mind and how the mind game is played. Now, how then, okay, if you say that, okay, so true love is object independent and can be found in the silence of the beingness. How on the earth do I find a partner? What now I can love everybody, then how do I find a partner to share my life with? Well, that's the question, isn't it? So, how I see that, it's not that easy question to answer. So I see that yes, you can love everybody. You don't have, you not necessarily will have physical chemistry with everybody, not at all. The sense of the body, the feeling, the kinesthetic sense of the skin, and how a person is against you, so this physical chemistry, by no means you will experience with everyone, and thanks God, or whatever it is. So the physical intimacy is one component that usually draws to each other, this ability to experience this merging of souls and bodies in a very special way that only we, human body, can do, which is wonderful. If we would not be these bodies, then that would be quite a bummer, I guess, but then I don't know. So, one criteria is always, well, am I attracted to this person physically? Of course, we can be attracted physically to so many people too. Not everybody, but many people. Now, another element that comes to play, when you're conscious. So, when you're ego, then this completely separate criteria. So it can validate my ego most of the time, usually. And I don't want to go there. You already played that game long enough, so I don't want to play it with you. Let's say, assume that you really you're interested to get out of that game. And that's where I want to meet you, in that place, to share that and explore that. So, if you do want to have conscious relationship, then very possible that your other criteria besides sexual compatibility, sexual chemistry, sexual attraction, besides that, then probably you want to look into, can this person be conscious enough to meet me when I'm conscious? Can we do it as often as possible? Can we be accountable for our states and our actions and behaviors and so on and so forth? Can we work through every challenging situation? And what a challenging situation is a challenging of your ego. That's the only challenge situation, that's the only way it can be described. When your ego is challenged, this is the challenging situation. There's nothing else really challenged. Only ego. Well, your body can be challenged, but that's, again, is a part of our perception of what we are. So, to go through these challenging situations with grace, you just really need to be present to the fact that as my ego is challenged, it just pointed to the fact that I'm not conscious right now, that I'm identified with some form, identified with some thought, identified with some emotion, some feeling. So I'm identified. That's as simple as I can put it. And that's a great blessing when your partner can actually help you see that. You can perceive them as cruel. I guarantee you that at first it will feel like cruel if you're really brutally honest with each other, which, as you know, I advocate very strongly. Being brutally honest with yourself and your partner. It helps too. So when your ego is challenged, you will feel that it's threatened before, it's unpleasant before, and then you put a story. It's unfair, it's cruel, it's unjust, I don't know what else you will say, your mind will say. And the fight starts. You're wrong, but you said that and I said that, but I am right and you are wrong. And there is no end to that. And it's part of every relationship. It's probably part of every relationship. If two people came together and they never ever disagree on anything, they never argue, maybe they're just not so close, maybe they're a little bit, what is the word for that? Neutral, they don't care, what is the word, I forgot the word. Write it down there, remind me what the word is. Okay, so if person truly care about your well-being, and you agreed when you come together that well-being means I want to be conscious, I want to be present to the way how I'm experiencing this life and myself, and you as my partner. So if I want to be conscious and you reminded that to me, any labeling that I do, I'm making those labeling out of place of my own unconsciousness. Because as a matter of fact, all it is a pointer. Is a pointer to my unconsciousness or pointer to unconsciousness of your partner in his or her behavior at the moment of the argument. That's all it is. And the best you can do is not try to figure out the way around it, who's right, who's wrong. The way around it is just become conscious, become present, and your other person do the same. Your other person, that person, and other person. But still, we are still on the subject. So, but how do I find that person? Where is the right person? The thing is that life itself solves that for us. As soon as we make a commitment to something, you know how they say, when student ready, teacher appears. And it never fails. From where I stand and I observe life, it just never fails. As soon as you're truly ready to commit to this sense of, I don't like the word growth, because we're not growing anyway. We are as we are. We're just delusional, or we're not. So as soon as you commit to your inner truth, to commit to sense of discovery of the love, of true love, and ready to share it with someone, I can assure you they will present themselves. Of course, if you sit at home and lock your doors and don't let anybody in, there still can be a chance that someone walks in by mistake or something, I don't know. I don't know how it can happen. Probably it can. But it's absolutely true, you go out there in the world and you can create context for that to happen. Context can be just follow what impulses you have, as long as they're not addictive and destructive, because then I don't believe that would be a relationship of consciousness that you will need. But again, there's no rules on that either. You go and throw yourself in the world. Throw yourself and you will bump into someone. And then, of course, you can explore whether those relationships are conscious. Of course, as every human being, your first reaction to any person you bump into is, do they give me pleasure? Isn't that true? Isn't this person gives me pleasure? Is it pleasing my eyes? Is it pleasing the touch, the breath? Is it pleasing? That's how, from the mind standpoint, we operate. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with pleasure. Nothing wrong with pleasure, nothing wrong with pain, nothing wrong with anything. But we prefer pleasure most of the time, unless we don't. So assuming that you prefer pleasure, that's a person you will choose. That potentially it gives you a promise of pleasure. And then probably some connection appears. And then, as relationship unfolds, then you will know. You will know where the pleasure comes, where the pain comes. But with that pain, can you stay conscious too, you both together? As you argue and really frustrated with each other, can you become conscious? Can you become present? And when you are, relationship might just go on and go on and on and on. And then you build upon that. You find out what exactly that you want from life today, because what you wanted 10 years ago doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you want today. Same another person. And if you meet, if you path, it looks like it crosses and it looks like you're about to walk in the same direction. There's a promise of pleasure, there is a promise of conscious relationship, there is a promise of path that follows the same pattern, and then the relationship happens. Can I tell you that there is some ideal soulmate in the world for you and there is a way to find it? By no means I say that. I don't believe that would be true. But I don't believe either that it will serve you when you will jump from one person to another person in a matter of 3 days. Because then probably you will learn nothing. You will keep repeating your patterns of self-destructive behaviors and complete delusion about yourself, complete lie to yourself. Because as soon as a person triggered the challenge, you jumped out, and then there is no discovery really there. So all I can say is discover that love within you, beyond all your angers, frustrations, fears, or doubts, all your previous traumas, all your previous bad experience with love, relationship, all that mind can hold. Find the love underneath of all of that. You can do it on your own. We'll work together. I'll be happy to unpeel your little onion and help you to discover that sense of quietness within you. And from that state of quiet being, everybody bump into, as soon as first level of validation happens, there can be love. Doesn't mean that you have to jump into every relationship that promises you love. It's very rewarding. It can be very rewarding to actually stick around for some time. Whatever this time is, you write your script. So you will decide how long it will be. For a lifetime, you know how they say, people meet for a reason, for a season, or for life. What your season length will be, I don't know. We definitely all meet for a reason, no questions there. And how long your season will last, I don't know. But let me just wish you from all my heart is to discover who you are underneath of all your thoughts, all your fears, all your doubts, underneath of all projections onto another, and find love here first. And then open your heart to be able to share it with everybody you meet. It doesn't have to be a relationship with everybody you meet, but it doesn't hurt just to share with everybody you meet. Let me please share my love with you today. Express my gratitude for your time spent with me while I'm just reflecting on the subject that you asked me about. By no means I'm a teacher, but I know that I can facilitate a lot of inner transformation in everybody I meet. I know that. So if you're interested to work with me or with us together, me and Jan, I'll be delighted and honored. Have a fantastic day.